What is up, everybody? Welcome back to our channel, Red Bull Coffee and Crime. It is your girl, Red Bull. Hey, Coffee.
Hello.
How are you?
I am great. You know, I'm relaxing and just enjoying the day.
I'm about to go to camp with you.
Hey, we got a nice setup out here. You can come on.
I know.
We'll
So
sit
it's
by
been,
the fire and
that sounds so nice.
talk
It's too hot.
bullshit.
It's too hot for a fire.
It won't be in a couple hours.
I'm like, it's too hot. So it's been forever since we've been on. I feel like this is like our first time doing this.
Right.
Um,
It's been that long too.
it has. Well, yeah, it's I don't know, a couple weeks maybe. But I just wanted to I don't know if you've heard of this case. And it involves one of my okay, I'm not into white guys. Sorry, nothing against any white people, of course. But I've never been into any kind of white guys, right? But growing up, it was Ashton Kutcher and Eminem. I swore they were my husbands, both of them. And I was in love with Ashton Kutcher. I never even heard of this case. Like I never heard that his ex-girlfriend was murdered and really brutally. Um hey.
Hey, I gotta back out at least once to show.
But
That's just me.
like I don't know if you heard me, but him and Eminem, they were my oh my god. I was obsessed. Ashton Kutcher. Oh, he was my everything. But one thing I never heard was, he had a girlfriend that was brutally murdered. Like brutally. Did you ever hear
Right?
about this?
Yes, I did hear of that.
Really?
Yeah, they actually, I think in the very beginning, like they questioned him about it.
Oh, he testified.
Mm-hmm.
They questioned him like if he was involved with it.
Yes.
Oh wow. Mm. Well, thank God he was not. But a guy named Michael Thomas Gargiulo. I don't know how to say his name, so I'm just gonna say Michael. Um, I'm gonna go over, his
Go.
teenage years. He was a very troubled kid. Um, he was born on February 15th, 1976, in Glenview, Illinois. Michael grew up with six siblings. He alleges that his father abused him, although this has never been proven. Michael was socially awkward teenager who displayed some odd behavior. Like many kids in the neighborhood, he spent time at his friend's Doug Pacacio's house. Whenever Doug's mother offered Michael a plate of food, he would take it and anxiously pace back and forth. When she invited him to sit, he would say, "Well, I can't," and then he would abruptly leave. What do you take of that? That's weird. Michael also had a short temper that frightened his peers. To watch him in action was something else. This was coming from a old friend. His name was Scott. He said that Michael would go from normal to crazy in a second. The switch would flip and he would just become almost inhuman. So these murders that happened, they started in 1993. Doug had an older sister named Trisha, and Doug was his, high school friend.
Right.
And Trisha attended the same high school as Doug and Michael. Trisha was a straight A student. She was very pretty, popular, but genuinely kind to everyone. People said she was a beautiful person, full of energy, full of life, always happy, always cheerful, positive. She was just loved by everybody. And in her yearbook picture, her yearbook thing, Trisha actually wrote, liked meeting interesting people who had the same desires as me to save the world. Oh. So the last time her family saw Trisha alive was on Friday the 13th of August 1993. She just graduated from Glenbrook South High School and planned one last get together with her friends before leaving Illinois to study engineering at Purdue University. The following morning, her father discovered her bloody, lifeless body on the steps outside of their house. Trisha was only 18 years old when she was brutally murdered. She had driven home at around 1 a.m. on August 14th. Before she could make it into the house, someone grabbed her arm so hard that it broke. Her attacker then stabbed her multiple times in the back, the collarbone, the arm, the abdomen, the lung, and the heart. So her dad, her father, was the one that found her. He said that when he first saw her, all he saw were little tennis shoes sticking up. He grabbed her, he tried to revive her. He says that is the worst feeling in your life when you can't do nothing to save somebody who you love. So, Doug, the brother, was woken up by his father's blood curdling cries for help. He rushed outside, witnessed the scene that would give him nightmares for years. Trisha's family and friends had no idea who would want to hurt her. So after this happened, Michael's behavior was very suspicious. Hey, Sixth Sense. How are you, girl? We miss you. Soon after Trisha was murdered, Michael sent multiple gifts to their house. Um, the father actually said, I hardly knew this guy. He sent me flowers. He bought Rick a shirt. Um, he sent them coupons for restaurants. She said it was weird. Michael was a potential suspect because he had given Trisha a ride in his car just 2 days before she was murdered. However, when he was questioned, um, he accused another teenager of being a killer. Like, that's insane that they just let him go because of that. I mean, so what also bothers me is DNA was found under Trisha's uh, fingernails. The forensic technology was, back then in the 90s, it was inadequate. So they had no way of knowing that it was Michael's DNA. Detectives interviewed multiple people, but with no witnesses or potential motives. It took 2 years before they had any leads. 2 years later, Michael sexually assaulted a classmate, and in 1997, he was caught stealing a car and charged with felony via, vehicular. Why can't I say this word? But you guys know what I mean. Burglary. Um, Michael admitted that he had stolen a car. Detectives offered to reduce his felony to a misdemeanor if he told them what he knew about Trisha's death. But much to their surprise, Michael refused, even though it meant the felony charge for burglary would permanently be on his record. He received 18 months of probation and a $200 fine. So the following year, Michael visited um, the family's house, Trisha's family's house. According to Trisha's mother, she said he knocked on the door and asked if Mr. Picascio was home. Rick was still at work, but Michael was prepared to wait. Rick arrived home an hour later. Both he and his wife were surprised that Michael had waited in their kitchen for 60 minutes. 60 minutes. Previously, he had barely spent 5 minutes in their home. Whatever he wanted to say, it must have been important. So, um, the family says they had been waiting for answers for the last 5 years, and it seemed that the truth was about to come out. However, just when he started speaking to them, Michael's father and sister barged in without knocking on the door. They pulled Michael out of the house, and the family was so alarmed. They immediately called the detective to tell them what had happened, with the police in Illinois paying closer attention to Michael. He moved to LA later that year. So I guess the mom was thinking he was going to sit down, he was going to admit to what he did, and that's just not the case. That's not what happened. Um, Michael stayed out of trouble during the next few years. To manage his temper, he started training in martial arts and boxing. He was also hired as a bouncer, and that was at the Rainbow Bar and Grill on Sunset Boulevard in West Hollywood, where he became friends with two other bouncers, Temer Leary and Anthony DiLorenzo. But Michael soon became restless. You know how these serial killers are. They kill one time, and even, they wait years later, they have to do it again. He could so he couldn't move on. Like in 2000, while he was driving around with his two friends that worked with him, Michael had suddenly asked them if they had ever killed anyone. This this right here, this right here infuriates me. So they did not they didn't reply. And then he confesses that he committed murder when he was a teenager. I buried a B word. He literally calls her a B word. I left her on the steps for dead. Disgusting piece of crap. Michael admitted all of this, but the friends, they did not know what to take of the confession, and they didn't completely believe him. They knew that he had a habit of blowing things out of proportion, so they kept the confession to themselves. Um, and decided not to go to the police. So you hear this guy confessing to a murder and they don't go to the police. They're like, "Oh, whatever. He's just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know."
Right? Why would you not? Why?
Yeah. And it I won't even say it because, okay. Several months later, Michael's anger issues got the better of him. Again, Michael lost his job at the Rainbow Bar and Grill after he punched a customer. He found another job as a heating, ventilation, and air conditioning technician. So, a few months later, Michael was walking down the street and he noticed a man changing his flat tire. Michael offered to help at the same time. Ashley, which is, I think that's Ashton Kutcher's ex girlfriend, um, who had lived on the street, had just come out of her house. Michael immediately noticed her and the two started flirting before exchanging numbers. He became fixated on her and started watching her house. Late at night, Ashley often dated celebrities and soon lost interest in Michael. So he meets this girl and he stalks her, watches her house, everything she does. Ugh, it's horrible. Um, so now in February 2001, that's when she started the relationship with Ashton Kutcher, who was acting on that 70s show at the time. The couple had planned to go on a date February 21st, 2001. That night, Ashton Kutcher called Ashley at 8:24 p.m. He was running too late for dinner, but suggested that they go out for a drink. And that was the last time he ever spoke to her. Oh my God. So he ends up calling her at 10 p.m. again, and Ashley did not pick up. So he finally arrived at her house at around 10:45 p.m., knocked on her door. There was no answer. He believed that she decided not to go with him anymore because he made her wait so long. He peered into the window and saw a red liquid on the carpet, and he assumed it was red wine. The following day, he heard that Ashley had been murdered. She had over 40 stab wounds and her throat had been slashed. Distressed, he immediately went to the police. After speaking to him and other people who had known Ashley, police cleared Ashton Kutcher as a suspect. A few of Ashley's friends mentioned someone who they believed could have been involved. He was known simply as the heating and air conditioning guy. So that's Michael. Um, since he moved to LA, he was not on their radar yet. So, not being on their radar, it took months before the Los Angeles Police Department discovered that the heating and air conditioning guy was Michael. They had his photograph, but they were not focused on him. It was not until detectives from the Cook County Sheriff's Cold Case Division contacted the LAPD officers in 2002 that they started to seriously consider Michael as a suspect. No, really? You should have done that in the first place. The Cook County detectives reopened Trisha's case and tested the DNA found under the fingernails. They were looking for Michael's DNA. Or they were looking for Michael to get his DNA. And when they found him, he put up a fight before eventually giving in. It was a positive match. The foreign DNA found under Trisha's nails belonged to Michael. This damning evidence, even though they had this evidence, I don't get it. I don't get it. The Cooks County State Attorney's Office said that it did not prove that Michael killed Trisha. How does that not prove? How does they not prove it? Make that make sense. So although Michael was a ruthless person of interest, the Cook County State Attorney's Office refused to prosecute him for Trisha's murder due to lack of conclusive evidence. The family was understandably outraged when they found out that Michael walked free, despite his DNA being under their daughter's fingernails at the time of her death. To make matters worse, the LAPD had a similar problem. They had no proof that he killed Ashley. Michael felt like he was invincible and could get away with anything. That reminds me of a lot of murderers, serial killers that go around. They keep getting away with, what was the one that was stopped in his car? Several were stopped in their car. Dahmer, he had dead bodies in his car while he was stopped, pulled over by the police. I think BTK got away a couple of times, like so many of them. And then they just think that they can go on and on and on and he they won't ever get caught. So after this, he started stalking another woman who he met while working. He arrived at her house wearing blue surgical shoe covers to repair her air conditioning. Although the attraction was not mutual, what is this? He pleaded with her to go on a date with him. He eventually punched her and she filed a restraining order on him. Luckily for her, he left her alone after that. He started dating a new woman named Grace Quack in 2005. The couple moved to El Monte. Grace was pregnant with Michael's child. When they started having problems with their relationship, um, according to Grace, Michael would often come home late and sometimes not at all. Eventually, they broke up and she moved back into her parents' house. So in November that year, Michael noticed that Maria Bruno was moving into an apartment on the opposite side of the courtyard. 10 days later, on December 1st, she was dead. When Grace, the ex-girlfriend, saw an image of Maria on the news and heard that she'd been murdered in the same apartment complex that she lived with Michael in, she was horrified. It's like she already knew, you guys. She already knew. Um, and this was the most disturbing, brutal murder scene. Maria's body was only found the day after Michael snuck into her apartment through an open window, senselessly. I can't speak today. Murdered her while she slept. Maria's estranged husband, who had custody of their 4 children, was the one that discovered her mutilated body. Just like Michael's previous victims, Maria had been stabbed many times. The murder scene, however, was more gruesome than the others. Both of Maria's, you guys, it's a lot. So trigger warning. Just if you're, you know, I don't know, it's disgusting. Her breasts had been cut off, and her nipples were placed inside of her mouth. I can't even. Are you back, Coffee? Police searched the murder scene for any potential evidence that would lead them to the killer, but the only clue that they found. I had to mute you, Garnett. The only clue that they found was a single blue surgical shoe cover that had a drop of blood on it. It was tested and turned out to be Maria's Bruno's blood. With no leads to go on, the case went cold. So his final victim, almost 2.5 years after ruthlessly murdering Maria, she lived. So this last victim lived. Michael was living in Santa Monica with a new woman. Then there he underestimated a new woman. I mean, there he underestimated his next target, 26-year-old Michelle Murphy. In the middle of the night on April 28th, 2008, Michael, with a hoodie and a baseball cap, snuck into his neighbor's house. Michelle woke up to a strange man stabbing her in the chest. She was disoriented and thought she was dreaming. She quickly realized that it was not a dream. Miraculously, she managed to defend herself. She says, "I was fighting with everything I had in me." I couldn't even imagine.
I can't either.
She recalled during the tussle that the blade pierced Michael's skin. He apologized. He apologized to Michelle, like that makes everything better, and then he made his escape. Traumatized, Michelle immediately called 911. She was treated for her wounds and physically made a full recovery, thank God. A swab of blood from the scene was tested and it matched Michael's DNA. So finally, now in June 2008, police had sufficient evidence to arrest Michael for the attempted murder. His bail was set at $1.1 million. Investigators found a tool bag, blue shoe covers in his vehicle. A single blue shoe cover had been found at Maria Bruno's murder scene, but the matching shoe was never located. This prompted a search of Michael's former apartment in El Monte. They found what they were looking for in the attic. This piece of evidence officially linked Michael to that crime scene. Thank God. Yes.
Right?
Can you imagine someone you know admitting murder? And that happens. I didn't want to say it earlier. That happens in so many cases. Remember that cheerleader that just was brutally murdered? The teenagers. What was her name? They were like 15 and 14. But he was going around to all his friends and even his girlfriend saying that he was going to kill somebody that month. Nobody took him serious. He always talked about death. He always talked about killing people. Always walked around with a knife. This happens in a lot of cases and it's really frustrating because I mean, coffee. If I started like really walking around with a knife and I was like, look, I'm killing someone, and I might joke around and say, oh my God, I'm gonna kill da da da. But if I'm dead serious and saying that I'm gonna kill someone and it's gonna be in a week, like
Right. Well, and I guess there's that thing of, all right, once in a while saying something like that, but when it's a common practice and you see it escalating,
yeah,
he's been talking about murder and then he starts carrying a knife and then he gives you a date. I think that you almost have to be like, you know what, I got to tell somebody.
yeah. And even if somebody's admitting they murdered somebody before, what do you? I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
oh,
Really, you have to. I mean, I don't understand how anybody could rationalize um, somebody telling you, hey, I murdered somebody and just making it okay. Like,
exactly.
if you told me you murdered somebody and I love you to death, but girl, we got to go talk to the police because get involved in this.
Right. So while Michael was incarcerated, you want to say hi? Look, I would wait. Even make it anonymous. Yeah, an anonymous call. Something. Hold on, baby. Um. So while Michael was incarcerated, undercover detectives recorded audio of Michael planning a jailbreak.
Oh,
He was going to ambush a prison guard and steal a vehicle. By the end of 2008, his charges had increased from the attempted murder of Michelle to the murders of Maria and Ashley and an attempted jail break. So, um, a TV show actually helped solve the 1993 cold case of Trisha. There was still sufficient evidence to charge Michael with that murder. But in two hold on, baby. But in 2011, the true crime television show 48 Hours aired, and an episode came out. It was called The Hollywood Ripper. The show displayed a mugshot of Michael and discussed all the crimes that he had been accused of. The journalist on the show also interviewed Rick, the father of Trisha. Hey, Dolly. Aw, thank you, love. It's been forever. We miss you guys. Um, so Tamar Leary, who had known Michael in the late 90s, watched the episode, was moved by the father's emotional video. Tamar was one of those friends. He was one of the friends that Michael um confessed to, and he said that he just knew he had to tell the police. So, years and years and years
Finally
later.
got some conscience and said, I have to tell. But if you see something, say something. I mean, even if you're wrong about it, you morally you have to.
You could
You
have
don't
saved
know,
so many people's lives.
right? Now, let me talk to my boy Phoenix.
Wait, hold on, let me finish then, because he's gonna be on a rampage. Hold on, hold on. Um, all right, so he just knew he had to tell the police July 7th, 2011. Thanks to, his testimony, Michael was charged with first-degree murder of Trisha. After almost 2 decades since her death, the family was relieved that justice was finally served. There may have been more victims in all of this. Um, although there was only proof that Michael had killed 3 women and attempted to kill one more, it is possible that he had committed more. After his arrest, he maintained his innocence. However, he made the mistake of telling authorities that the presence of his DNA at 10 murder scenes did not prove that he murdered those women.
Oh my God.
And he didn't lie the first time, admitting, saying, "Hey, I murdered somebody." So now it's like, okay, did he murder these?
Right. And have they looked into those 10 cases? Have they tried to find out, where he was and what he was doing in that time frame?
Right? Your reading and narration confidence has improved. Oh, thank you, love. Thank you. All right. In 2015, police were looking for Yadira Reyes. They had a photo of her and Michael. Um, and they were worried that she was one of his victims. She was still alive, but she explained that he had sexually abused her in 2005 in the back of his van. Oh, baby. She kept it a secret for 10 years because he made her swear that she would not tell anyone, with the threat that he would her and her family if she broke that promise. Um, So there was a pretrial hearing June 9th, 2017, 10 years after his arrest. Michael's trial was scheduled to start in October 2017. However, it was postponed until May 2nd, 2019. His trial received a lot of media attention, and that's why I don't understand. Why did I not know about any of this?
Because
It's
you were busy having babies.
right. I mean, especially since that's my husband. I mean, how can police rule something out without exactly? Everything needs to be investigated.
We
Um,
so often.
so Ashton Kutcher attended, and his testimony was very important in establishing the small window of time in which Ashley was murdered. I mean, yeah, was murdered between 8:24 p.m. and 10:45 p.m. Ashley's parents also testified. Mike Ellerin said that a police officer had come to their house at 11 p.m. to give them the tragic news. His wife, Cynthia Ellerin, had been sleeping at the time, so Mike decided to tell her when she woke up. Cynthia recalled that when her husband told her, she fell on her knees to the floor and started crawling around the bedroom, um, just
See, and that
crawling.
too, you don't know how you'll react, but I think I'd have beat the crap out of my husband if he'd have not woke me up. Hello, Sixth Sense.
Not to be rude, somebody's either rubbing, breathing, or rubbing. I I don't know. It could be me breathing, or it could. I don't know. Is it like? Can you hear it now?
I am outside, so it could be the wind.
I think it's because I'm not used to having a mic. Like I probably need to put it over here, like this kind of mic. What, baby? Yes, and not rude at all. Because if I, oh, whew. Okay, so you couldn't, yeah, okay. Thank you. Wasn't rude at all. All right. So yeah, she was crawling around on her hands and knees like an animal screaming, she says. That is so sad. And like Coffee said, you never know how you're going to react to, anything that happens like that. Um Family members of the other victims also shared their heartbreaking testimonies. Trisha's brother and Michael's former friend, Doug, said, as much as you try to have fun, be joyful and be grateful for the good things, it will never, ever be without that underlining despair. I hope. I'm like, wait, am I really breathing like that? Could be because I just got over pneumonia. I don't know. Or it was the wind. The
I'm
most,
thinking because now I'm muting my mic that it was probably me. I am not in the best situation for this, but we're doing the best we can. I'm out at camp. I'm enjoying the day.
yes. What, baby? When you said drop to her knee, I know. I mean, I can't even imagine. What, baby? All right, hold on. Let me get this done. I'm almost done. I promise. Um, The most crucial witness was Michelle Murphy. She was stabbed 8 times in her chest, shoulder, and right arm. She almost lost her life. Initially, in the days, the week, and months after it happened, she said she barely slept. I feared the nighttime and going to bed. I still slept with the lights on for a long time. Michelle also confessed that she moved out of the neighborhood because it triggered horrific memories of her attack. If it weren't for her bravery and resilience, Michael likely would never have been arrested. The defense tried to blame other men. Despite the evidence against Michael, his attorney, Daniel, tried to pin the murders on another suspect. He argued that the brutality of the crime scenes indicated that the murders were personal and that people who knew the victims had killed them, which doesn't make sense because the Night Stalker didn't know his freaking victims. And look at, or a lot of, none of that makes sense.
Crimes are stranger to stranger. You don't have to know somebody to.
Yes.
That's what makes it scary. Monsters don't wear masks.
Don't do exactly. Okay, go through it then. All right, so he suggested that Ashley was killed by her apartment manager, with who she was having a secret affair with. He pointed out that Maria Bruno could have been murdered by her estranged husband, who had discovered her body. The attorney explained that the reason Michael's DNA was found at the crime scene was that he had lived there in the same apartment complex. Okay, but what about Trisha's under her fingernails? Like, how is he going to explain that? The defense team did not try to deny Michael's involvement in the attempted murder case. Instead, a psychologist testified that he suffered from dissociative.
This OC, yeah, I'm not any better.
You guys know what we're saying? What? What is it? Okay. Okay, go do that. Girl.
He's a
No.
handful.
Dolly, he and thank you guys. No, I would get off him definitely. He's just my 4-year-old is nonstop all day long. Like coffee will tell you. It's all day. And what he wants.
There's no free time with him.
That's why we really haven't been on as well, but we also been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. But like
I
right.
say to Dolly before we go on, we appreciate your feedback. We absolutely do, and
Yes.
we're still learning. So we never take offense to, hey, that's not right or it doesn't sound good. Please speak up. Let us know.
Yes, exactly. Um yeah, like right now what he wants to do, he wants the mic. So he's not gonna stop until that's why I'm like now I'm like hurrying, rushing so I could get him on here. He could say hi for a minute. Okay. So he was found guilty, although the defense claimed that Michael had been diagnosed with a identity disorder. Michael did not agree with the diagnosis. He did not believe he had a mental illness. He was upset that anyone would even say this. He called the psychologist a liar, and he was adamant that he doesn't have a illness. The jury did not believe it either, and they found that he was sane when the crimes took place. So the trial continued for 3 months. In the end, the jury found Michael guilty of all the crimes. They also believed that the attacks were premeditated. Ew. Let me see. I'm not gonna break it. Um, no, not another one. Mm-mm. Yeah, yeah. So, so he was charged with attempted murder, attempted escape, and 2 counts of first-degree murder. He would either be sentenced to death or life in prison without the possibility of parole. The jury recommended the death penalty. Michael did not receive his official sentence until 2021. So the premeditated I get because he was definitely stalking them beforehand. Um, you know, the defense they actually try to paint a picture. Huh? Ew. That he was at the wrong place at the wrong time twice. That's what they said. When that failed, they insisted that he was mentally ill. However, the judge and the jury perceived the Hollywood Ripper very differently. Everywhere that Mr. Michael went, death and destruction followed him. Come here, baby. Michael was also described as a serial S. Chip in. Aw, thank you, Dolly. Oh, baby, look. They tipped you $5 to get a headset. You can talk with us while we do our cases.
That is awesome.
Oh, thank you, Dolly. Oh my God. Next time we come on, he is definitely going to be sitting in a chair right next to me. Hold on. I do actually have to get up for a second. He wants me to go look at something. Okay. Aw, Dolly, I appreciate that. Thank you. He will be so you guys, he is nonstop though. Y'all gonna be like, wait, what story are we talking about? I appreciate it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Um, is that the end of my notes? No, so He was described as a serial sexual thrill killer. Although he had not sexually assaulted his victims before or after killing them, we can't crack another egg. Come here. In the manner which they were. Here, you want to? Okay. Talk to Garnet.
Hi, honey. How are you? It's been a little while since I got to talk to you. Did you tell Dolly thank you?
Thank you. Thank you.
What did you
I've
want?
been telling Red Bull that I think Phoenix is our mascot.
I know.
Where's
Coffee.
Prime?
Huh?
Where's Prime?
There's what?
Prime.
Prime?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Red Bull.
No, it's Prime.
Oh, it's time.
Prime?
Yeah. Where is he?
Like the drink?
No.
Who's Prime?
I'm here.
Are you thinking about the Xbox?
Yeah.
Boy, I don't know. Nothing?
Number.
What? Like, hey, I'll see you guys later.
I'll see you guys later.
Be good.
Okay.
Okay, I'm coming. I'm almost done, okay? All right. Look, they said good morning. Dolly said thank you. Huh? Boy, we are not having an egg fight. Oh my gosh. Maybe he wants to have an egg fight now. He sees the crying emojis when the lady hit her knee. I'm like, Prime, what? Uh-uh. So, remember Michael had a son? So he was 5 years old when his father was arrested. By the time Michael was found guilty, his son Andrew was 16 years old. And he spoke in support of his father. He says, I don't see a psychopath, Andrew told the juries. I don't see a murderer. All I see is my dad, and I would like him to still be alive so I can talk to him. But he did receive the death penalty on July 16th, 2021. Michael was sentenced to death in California. The last execution in California took place in 2006. Before the death penalty was halted by Governor Gavin Newsom, who I hate so much. I dislike him. Oh my God. The governor is committed to having the death penalty abolished. Support for the death penalty in California has decreased significantly over the past few years. So, yeah, I never knew about this case. I didn't even know that Ashton Kutcher went on trial. I never knew he testified. I never knew any of this. Like,
That definitely was not me.
huh?
There was some interference. I said that one was definitely not me.
So have you guys heard of this case? Like, I mean, like Dolly or Sixth Sense? I really can't believe I haven't ever.
I'm really shocked that you haven't either.
Really, really difficult for the children of a psychopath. I know, oh, go ahead, Poppy.
It is hard. I mean, I can't imagine, he was 5. And, I'm sure all he wants is a father. That's the the side of the death penalty that gets away. You've got three families that completely lost their loved ones. Poor Michelle, who was stabbed 8 times.
That one,
Um,
baby.
and you have an innocent little boy who, even at 16, only just wants his father. So, the balancing there is very hard.
It definitely is. I couldn't imagine. I mean, I don't know what I don't know what I would, how I would feel, what I would do. Um, I know that I've been watching. I forgot her name, but it is was the BTK. His daughter. I've been watching her lately. She had a restraining order or something against him, and now she just went to go visit him in prison for the first time.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, they're trying to get him for a cold case that happened, and she agreed to go in there and try to help them, like get him to admit, um, to see if he did this crime. I'll send you like the interview that she did.
Definitely, I would like to see that.
Ashton was going on a blind date, or the adjustment her, I can't remember. Yeah, they were supposed to, were they boyfriend and girlfriend? I think.
No, I think that she's right. It was a blind date that he was supposed to go on.
Oh, and he said he was late for it because he was filming, right?
And then she ended up dead.
That is just awful.
It is awful. Like, I can't. I don't know. That goes back to, are people evil or created? Do they become evil? And
Exactly.
I don't know. There's really not any good answers. All I know is that we can't look at them and see them.
Yeah, you never know. But you guys, we are doing a lot of things behind the scenes. That's why we haven't been going live lately. We are also changing the channel around. Um I don't think we're sure on the name yet. I don't know. Like,
We've been tossing some ideas around. We sort of want to give it a fresh look. Um, you know, or that suits us because we don't just necessarily cover in one section. We like to do a variety of stuff, and share not just our views on cases, but our views on, we've done aliens and we've done just general life. So, we're trying to figure out where we fit into the YouTube community.
yeah, we what was I about to say? I got distracted. We already changed the picture, and but then it's like, wait, I don't know. Um and we also want to be able to do like merch and stuff, like coffee. She does really good work with, she's very creative and does coffee mugs and a lot of other stuff. So it's like when we're able to do merch, we can't use the Red Bull thing because, obviously.
Yeah, anything with Red Bull is going to be iffy,
Yeah.
and just can afford a lawsuit from Red Bull.
They would they no, they would get nothing, literally. So, we also got our EIN. We want to do a nonprofit. We're doing a lot of stuff. We just, um
I'd like to be able to help some of these cases that we talk about, and sadly, we live in a world where that doesn't happen for free.
yeah, if if we could just do it without having a nonprofit. I mean, like if I was a millionaire, I would just be doing whatever, throwing any whatever kind of money at helping find somebody. But come here, baby. And that way, if we do a nonprofit, we can help, just not Kyron, but a lot of different cases, a lot of different families. Um, so we've just been doing a lot of that, and yeah, both born with a genetic factor coupled with a traumatic or but yep, for a perfect storm. Yeah, I agree. Are you still thinking on a new channel named Red Bull? Yeah, we came up because me and Coffee call ourselves um soul sisters. Like she is literally my soul sister. So
Exactly.
like and Serial, it's like kind of brings in the crime thing, but then Soul Sisters, I don't know. But we are. I just don't know where to go. We don't know where to go with it yet. Trauma status with not only the victims, not only the survivors, but also their families and friends can be affected on a deep psychological level. I look forward to you. That's very true. The families and even of the people committing these crimes, I feel awful for their families. Like,
And that always brings me back to my situation. So Ryan, uh, you know, his father murdered him, and you know, I knew the uncle from the time he was a child. Um, so how does that, how do you fit that in and that emotion of I've lost my grandson? This child that I watched grow up is the one who did it, and my sympathies. I, his mother, I can't imagine because not only did she lose her grandchild, but she's lost her son as well. And it's to be muddied for the families. That
exactly. So even even things like that, it's like, I want to be able to help.
head is bumping your mic.
Huh?
Head is bumping your mic.
I can't hear you.
Is it me?
I don't know. Coffee is at the lake. I mean, at her camp at the lake. I wish I was there. I need. We go camping tomorrow. It's so beautiful. Look where Garnet. Do you see it right here? Make your screen big. Hold on. See? Yeah. Camp. It's a little bit more bigger. But the sound is very. Ooh. Mm. Okay. But we appreciate you guys coming on here. We appreciate you guys staying subbed. We are going to eventually figure it out, get on a schedule. My best schedule would probably be when all the kids are sleeping, but it's so hard for me because once he goes to sleep, like he won't go to sleep without me. So I have to sleep with him and I'm like passed out by 8:30 now.
That's because we're up at 5 o'clock getting the kids ready for school. It's the life of a busy mom.
I know. And I'm just like, and we want to be able to do like, I mean, I don't mind having to get up and, like, if they need something or, huh?
I'm gonna unplug it.
Unplug what?
On this.
Like, I don't mind, but we also we know a lot of people are gonna be like, huh?
There's something on the back.
Gotten a lot of judgment about Red Bull being a mom and trying to do this. So
Yeah, so having my kids on here, like it's kind of like a, I don't know. You know, these people are evil. These people are so miserable within themselves. Like the other day, we have a screenshot of, the same people we always talk about, saying that they want to make a false report. They really, really.
they went as far as to look through videos and without any context, then try to make a whole situation out of something that they had no clue about.
A video of my son at a soccer game when we're in the parking lot. But this is way after the fake report. So they know that we have the screenshot of that. And now they're like going through social media. You know what? I'm not a perfect parent, but I am a great mother. I am, my kids get all my attention all day long. Um, what baby? So it's kind of hard. It's like, okay, do I want to do this? And, like Phoenix right here. What, baby? Yeah, because they're about to be home. It's like, people are going to, can you pre record and they do live stream and also live stream when time and circle. We could do that. I just don't know how to like edit and stuff as well.
And we're working on that. But for Red Bull, it takes away something from, she likes to have that interaction with you guys.
Yeah.
And that seems to be a roadblock there as well. But we're working on it.
Yeah, I mean,
We
honestly, I could just not even care because if CPS did come to my house, nothing would happen.
right.
I don't smoke. There's nothing wrong with smoking weed. I don't even smoke weed. I don't drink. I don't, they have food. There's a roof over their head. They have clothes. Everybody has their own bed. Nobody's being abused. I have never hit my children. I don't hit children. If you do, nothing against you, but that's just not what I do. My kids are taken care of. So I don't know. I just have to get used to like um just saying I don't care because if they did come and people are, I don't know, the screen recording and then cutting stuff up to make it look some sort of way, like I just don't like all that. But then again, it's like I could be off, the camera. I could turn my camera off, but I like, like I told Norman because he records stuff. One day I would not record with him because I'm like, I like going live. I like talking to, our people or our what baby? Okay. He's hungry, so I'm gonna get people are going to judge you no matter what you do. Haters are hater, but as long as you stay honest and true, you can. I appreciate that, Dolly Bear. I really appreciate that. Yes,
And
baby.
as we do try to hold some sort of a moral upstanding when we talk about these cases, and apparently for some that's an issue. It's hard, and watching them tear my best friend, my sister apart. That definitely has caused us to reevaluate and try to figure out a better way to do this.
Yes. You know. So we'll figure it out. We'll get it all figured out. Um somehow.
Like today, and still having you guys, it's amazing, and it makes me feel like whatever comes, we will make it through this.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean I agree, there What you need to tell anybody when they come to your home, including the police or whoever that is, YouTuber, and at this time. Yeah, I have actually, because I've contacted CPS with this information. I did it ahead of time just in case. And, they can get charges for false reporting. And I've also told my local police station, I've written out reports on a few people because of it. You're, they're jealous, you're intelligent, have a wonderful family, and look gorgeous. I appreciate that too, Six Sense. I really do. And we love that you guys um, encourage us because some days, I mean, Coffee, she's like that. She's like Phoenix can be our what's it called? What do you
Scott, he's our
our
mask.
yeah,
Like,
our mascot, because even Coffee knows this is just him. When we're on the phone, he has my phone most of the days now, almost. But he's talking and talking and talking all day. That's just who he is. Like
I
he,
know Phoenix as well as I know my grandbabies. Like, absolutely. And for me, I think that uh, should add more charm to our show. And in the beginning, I really feel like that was part of it. And then we got so much judgment. And my babies are all growing. I don't have to worry about anybody coming in and saying anything to me.
yeah.
I do get scared for Red Bull, and I will go whatever direction she needs to go.
But then it's boy, what? But and with the headset that I'm gonna get, who knows? We'll just have to teach him. Hey, okay, it's like a
Right, you can only come in at this time. Wait, we'll give you keywords.
right, like have a little chair, put his little headphones on, and teach him. We'll figure it out, but we really appreciate you guys. We appreciate your support. Thank you so much again, Dolly Bear, for that. I'm definitely gonna get him some. He will be in love.
All
But
right, you
Six
go
Sense,
make that baby food.
yes, Six Sense. Thank you so much too. We love you guys. Garnet, I will call you later. You want to say
Definitely.
bye? You want to say bye? Yeah.
No, it's not. Oh, bye.
Bye. Love you.
Love you.
Have a
All
good.
right. All right, you guys. Love you guys. We will see you soon.
We do have a big show we're planning with an entire panel
Oh
coming
yeah.
forward really soon.
They
You
said
know,
bye. Phoenix.
we will definitely be posting about it, making sure everybody knows.
Yeah. Have a blessed day. Change begins with us. We can be the change we want to see in the world. Exactly. All right. Let me get him some food. Love you guys.
Love you.
Cheers.